This meeting is being recorded.
Okay, so welcome to the Kurinji Hacks API workshop. I hope that you people are having a good time here and making awesome projects out there. So first of all, let me introduce myself. So who I am. I am Adya Singh, Beta Microsoft Launchment Ambassador, and you can find me delivering technical talks, workshops, and studying, collaborating with the community, etc. And of course, I cannot go long and give all tell you about all my contributions, what all I have made. So you can just connect with me here on LinkedIn, and if you want to know anything about if you have any query or like any general doubt, you can ask me over here. So yeah, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. So let's see what's the agenda of the today's session. Will be all what would be the workflow of the session. So I'll be giving you a brief introduction about API, like in general terms, what are API, and then I will tell you what an API is exactly in a more technical way. Then we'll talk about request, and then after I'll make you understand what are endpoints and paths, and then we will uh, I'll brief you about responses, that what responses are. So let's get started with our session. So let's take an example of a digital restaurant. So assume that the API here is your waiter. So what happens in a restaurant, like you are sitting in a restaurant, and you are checking you are uh, seeing the menu and deciding what to order, and there is a kitchen where the preparation of food and other stuffs are happening. So if you want to order something, what you will do, like how would the kitchen know that what you want to order? So here comes the role of API. We are assuming waiter as a API, as an API. So you will tell your waiter that you want to order this or that food, whatever you want, and the in the form of request. Okay, and the waiter forwards your request to the kitchen, like the waiter forwards your request to the kitchen that you want to order, like, and the kitchen in return gives the response, like uh, the kitchen in return gives the response, and the waiter forwards that response to you, that hey, this food is available, or your order has been paid successfully, or that this food is not available, right? So in this case, uh, the guest or the person is playing a role of client, and the kitchen here is a server, and this waiter is playing a role of API. He takes the request from the client and returns the response from the server to the client. I hope you people are understanding this. So let's take another example, and let's be a bit technical, like let's understand in a technical way. So I hope you people are uh, have come across with this social networking app, and every other person uses social networking platforms to interact with other persons out there. So let's so what you people I hope that you people have come across with this. Can you people just put what is your favorite social networking app to interact with? Let's see what is your favorite social networking app. I'm taking a pause and just put it in the chat. Instagram, okay. Anyone? YouTube. Yeah, YouTube is even though mine favorite app also for, but for for interacting, I basically use this Instagram. So I basically I love to use LinkedIn. I literally use every day, like every day, for interacting with others. And besides Instagram, besides LinkedIn, I also love using Instagram. So let's see this. So in this, let's say that if you want to, if you want to upload your picture in Instagram or video or anything, if you want to upload, so what happens here is, like if you open what happens here is, like you open this app, this social networking app, and you go to the camera section, and this app, from there, this app uh, uses an API to access your device camera, to use your device camera. Okay, so you will use your upload your picture here, and if you want to invert, or if you want to, uh, if you want to apply any filter, then it will apply a filter to make it a better version of the original one, and uh, it post and you post on the server, it the app posts it on the server. So in this scenario, there are three APIs used. Like the first one is hardware API, the second one is like the library API, and the third one is a remote API. So I hope you people are with me till here. So let's see what an API is exactly and why should we use one. Okay, so API stands for Application Programming Interface. It allows services to communicate with each other, like it acts as a mediator between the client and the server. So uh, API is like anything, like Google, Twitter, etc. So for example, like say if you want to use if you want to use a particular data, you want to fetch a particular data and use that data to in your project of Google, and if you want to use a data of Google, so Google will not, allow you. It will not allow you to use use its code. Like, hey, you can use my code and edit whatever you want. You can do in my code. No. So what they will do, they will just create an API. Okay, to for they can create a desired API for you, and you can use those APIs in your projects to fetch the particular data you want. Okay, to use the data you want, and you can edit in that API also. So so basically they do not provide their whole code base, and means they allow you to edit anything. Put they just create your API for the same, and you can use those APIs in your projects for the same. Okay, so so here comes a very satisfying fact that there is an API for everything. And when I say everything, it literally means everything, like the cat API, the open weather map, Genius, Discord, etc. And there are so many more. Like you if let's say that if you want to make a weather app, and you need to fetch a particular you need to fetch the data of a particular region, like weather details of a particular region, then you will use weather map, open weather map API. And this with the help of this API, you can just fetch the data of that particular region, weather details of that particular region, and you can display it on your website or web app. So API turns software into Lego bricks. So uh, basically API is a software form of Lego bricks. I hope hope that you people have used this Lego bricks, a very famous Lego bricks game in your childhood or any time. So what basically happens in this Lego bricks is there are some small parts, and you just want to add it and build something out of it, like using your imagination power. If you want to build car or ship or anything, uh, aeroplane, anything you want to build, you just use your imagination power and you just try to add those small bricks, or you can say those small parts, and you just make try to make things out of that. Okay, so in the same way, the API is a, you can say that a form of API is a form of uh, software form of that Lego bricks. Okay, so what API does that, you you create those you can create those API to fetch whatever data you want, or you can edit or do anything. And you can also use the API of Google, Twitter, etc., to fetch those data, and you can use those data in your project. So what is an API? So let's understand this in a bit technical form, like what exactly an API is. So as I already told, that API stands for application programming interface. So it basically acts between the client and the server to provide the access to the data and services. Like if as I have already told in that uh, digital restaurant example, that API takes the request from from the client, and here the client would be anything like website, mobile app, or anything. They will make request to the API endpoint, and those API in return would give them response to the client from the server. Okay, so now you people must be wondering that suddenly what is the request now. So don't worry, I'll be explaining you that too. So first of all, let me give you a small overview of this Postman, since this is a basics workshop. So I'll be just giving a small overview of this. So Postman is a collaborative API development platform that simplifies creating, using, and testing API within UI. So basically, Postman is a API development platform, or you can say industrial tool, or a software which we use for creating and testing or editing API, or fetching some data from a particular URL. Okay, so let's first of all, let's discuss working of APIs then, and means before and after the API that Postman comes on the screen. Okay, so first of all, if you focus on the left hand side of the screen, so there is a curl command line. So before that Postman came, uh, we used to fetch data, or things used to happen on this curl command line. So if you focus in this, so forget about fetching any data from this. I'm unable to understand what's written in this. So I you don't I I think uh, means I hope you people have you people are also not understanding what's written here. So don't worry if you have not used this call command line, because I have also not used this thing. So, and if you focus on the right hand side of the screen, so this is a Postman UI. So so you can see here the UI is pretty awesome. Like it's pretty much easy to understand everything. And if you see here in this, if it shows if you want to see a raw form or a pretty form of a code, you can see both in this. There are both the options available. If you want to see it in a code form or raw form, you can see, or if you want to see in a pretty or understandable form, you can also see from there. So in this postman makes your work much more easier. Like you don't have to do anything, like you don't have to write codes or anything to fetch the data or to uh, to uh, update anything. So you just there in this postman, you just have to click on the buttons and the things are good to go. Like you just have to click the buttons for fetching the data, or get for fetching the data or updating the data, etc. So let's say what is making a request. Like we'll discuss about requests and response. So first of all, let's see what is making a data. So this basically means how we interact with the API. So for making requests, there are basically three ingredients to make a request. Okay, so those are method, address or endpoints, and path. So what are methods? So methods are basically the form in which we want to get the data, or the particular way which we which we want to we want the data to work, like get, post, etc. So and the next comes endpoint or address. So in this this is like from which endpoint or from which URL, from which website actually we want to fetch the data. We want those data to be used. Okay, and the path, the third one is path. So the path is basically that from which part of that URL we want to fetch that data. We want to use that data from which part. Okay, so let's talk about HTTP methods. So HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. So these methods specify what we want from the API, what actually we want from the API. So there are so many, so many methods, but we there are most there are four commonly used methods. Those are get method, post method, put method, and delete method. So what happen, these words itself tells the meaning that what they can do. So in get method, if we want to retrieve information, retrieve a data, or fetch a data from a particular URL, particular endpoint, then we use this get method. And this get method is a read only method. Like what I mean by read only, like we cannot edit in that thing, in that data we cannot edit. It's just a read only method. Then comes post method. So post method is basically if we want to send information, or if we want to send some data to that URL, or add some more data to that URL, we will use that post method. Okay, talking about put method. So if we want to update some information, so we will use this put method. For say for example, this session was, this session was scheduled at 10 a.m. Okay, but if I want to postpone this, if I wanted to postpone this session, so I will use a put method to update the information on the website. Like hey, this to the website, and send the message to the participants like, hey, I the meeting is scheduled, the session has been postponed, and now it is scheduled at 12 p.m. Right? So in this scenario we will use put method. Okay, now talking about delete method. So delete method is like deleting some data or information from the from the URL. So Yeah, this is the thing. So now let's talk about endpoints and paths. So basically, endpoints and paths are where our interaction with the API takes place. Okay. So let's take an example of this thing. Okay. So here, LinkedIn.com is our endpoint, and this feed is our path. Okay, we are using an example of this linkedin.com /feed /. Okay, so in this, the www.linkedin.com is our endpoint, and that feed is our path. So what is an endpoint now? So endpoint will always be constant, like www.google.com, twitter.com, etc. So basically, an endpoint is the channel of communication for the API. Typically, it's a URL, as I already stated, like google.com, twitter.com, instagram.com, etc. And the path is the particular, the particular part of that website, or that URL in which we want to make changes, or which we want to, as I said earlier, like which we want to post request, or uh, something like that. So a path is a destination where your request can be heard or executed. The particular path means that the particular part where we want to make changes. Okay. So talking about specifying details. So for building your request, you need basically three parts. Okay. So first is parameters, then the other one is authorization, and then header and body. So parameter is the particular thing, the particular thing you want to fetch data about, and authorization is like authenticating a user's, the user's credential, and checking what all things the user can request for. And the header and body. So the header and body consist of data types. Excuse me. So header and body consist of data types. Okay. So enough talking about request. Now let's talk about responses. So receiving responses. So there are basically three types of elements in response using responses. First is this status code. First one is the status code, like when you request for a particular data, or request from an API. So in return, that API will show you some status code, like the 200. Okay, this is the best response which a API could give. Like 200 okay means that it has the thing is successful, that the request is successful. Okay, and then is the 201 created. So this basically means that your request has been created successfully. And then this term 404 not found. So I hope that everyone has come across this thing, whether you didn't know about the concept of API, but you people must have came across this 404 not found thing. So it basically means that the particular thing which you have requested about is not found on the URL, in the URL. Okay, and then comes this header. Like I earlier discussed, that header consists of key value pairs, or anything such that, like that. And then comes accessing body parts. So accessing body parts consist of different data types, and basically for example, like it commonly consists of JSON. Okay, so the JSON is JavaScript object notation. Okay, so you can, it is a data type. So in this you can edit, or edit the response according to your need, etc. So I hope that everyone is with me till now. So thanks for coming, everyone. And if you have any questions, like uh, any questions or any doubt, feel free to connect with me here on LinkedIn. I would be more than happy to, solve your queries or your problems, your doubts, uh, and would love to connect with you all. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Adya, for having this session. We really felt it was really informative, and it was very nice for us to learn a lot about API. And if you have any questions, do shoot now, or you can also, I think Adya has also joined the Discord server, so she will be able to answer your questions there as well. So feel free to put your queries there. And those who attended today's meeting, please don't forget to fill the form that I've just uploaded. This is the contender for most eager attendee, and make sure you submit a screenshot of whatever you've attended in today's session as well. So thank you all for coming. Thank you so much, Adya,
And
for having me.
feel free to tag me there in your screenshot if you post it on LinkedIn.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Adya.
Thank you, everyone.